Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 32 of season 2 of Be With Me. And we have finished a passage about a rich man and one of the most hilarious images in the Bible, that it would be easier for a rich man to be saved than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And then a great question, one of the best in Scripture: who then can be saved? And the answer is, with man, it's impossible, nobody. And then the very good news: what is impossible with men is possible with God. And that kind of leads us into today's passage from Luke 18. And in 4 verses, this is 18:31. And taking the 12, he said to them, "We are going up to Jerusalem, and everything that was written about the Son of Man by the prophets will be accomplished. For he will be delivered over to the Gentiles and will be mocked and shamefully treated and spit upon. And after flogging him, they will kill him, and on the 3rd day he will rise." But they understood none of these things. This saying was hidden from them, and they did not grasp what was said. In a sense, we have the gospel in a nutshell, maybe sacrifice in a nutshell. And then I think the most curious thing about today is that they didn't grasp something that was hidden in plain sight. And the fact that the Lord hid it, I think, is very interesting. Okay, so they're going to go somewhere, and that is to Jerusalem. So Jerusalem equals going up its elevation. It's a one-way trip for him at this point. He never leaves Jerusalem. He's going to the cross. And then he brings in prophecy that will be accomplished. And we have to understand and remember that this was not an accident, wasn't a surprise. This was a definitive plan enacted with the foreknowledge of God. So all the things we're going to talk about here, all the violence and the shaming, God allows this because he loves us so much, and we can't get out of this situation without going through that. The prophets, again, so not only did they predict these things, one of the things that struck me is they wrote stuff down. They documented their predictions so that our faith could be increased, I think, because they recorded these things. And then when they were accomplished, you look back and say, oh, yeah, he was, born in Bethany. He did grow up in Nazareth. He did die on the cross as predicted. So it's not accidental. It's accomplished. This is God's plan. All right, well, we begin to get some nastiness here, and sorry about this. And the reason I'm sorry about this is every single person has to deal with the cross. You have to kind of come face to face with it, and it doesn't hurt to do it a time or two again. So the delivery to the Gentiles, that's going to be the Romans, and bearing this wrath that God has for sin and being the substitution sacrifice for that. And the specific things that are listed here are really highlights of what we call the passion, or the crucifixion of Christ. Actually, the crucifixion is hardly even mentioned. It's the other things that are mentioned. So he's mocked. He's mocked for his identity as divine God. He's mocked for his kingship and authority and his royalty. That's where the crown of thorns come in. That's where the purple robe comes in. He's shamefully treated. Can humans think of other ways to humiliate one another in this? He suffers the greatest humiliation known at that time. And spitting, we're in a viral time now where everyone's got to keep not only their spit to themselves, but even their breath to themselves. And here we have this derision that is mentioned. And then, of course, the flogging. Now, this was a savage thing, and we're not very familiar with it, but certainly the people of the time were. It was a Roman action of being beaten with leather straps that had either bones or chips of metal in it. And this often killed people. It exposed the back and sometimes the front, and people's guts would hang out. And obviously, the brutality of that is why Jesus died relatively quickly on the cross. It tells us that the flogging was real and wicked and brutal and savage and effective. And then we find out in verse 33 that they are going to kill him. And this is no surprise. This is the third time, even in Luke, that it's been predicted. Good news here that he's going to rise. The curious thing about this all is that this was hidden. Why would the Lord hide this in plain sight? They didn't grasp what was said, and perhaps it's so unpalatable that the Messiah must suffer and die. And the thing that kind of hits home as we bring this home, it's so unpalatable that the Messiah must suffer and die for me, for my wrongs, for my penalty. And they didn't grasp it. They didn't get it. And one of the reasons they didn't get it is because it wasn't allowed to be gotten, at least at that point. The saying was hidden from them. So all this about describing the emotional bad parts of this and the physical bad parts about this is, I don't know, maybe they would have tried to stop it or something. But they didn't understand it. They didn't grasp it. And today, I think we, in a sense, don't understand it and don't grasp it. I think God has to do some revealing, and we have to do some grasping. So my prayer is today for all of us, for those that believe or those that are unbelievers, glad to have you especially here listening, that God, may you do your part. May you reveal what was hidden and may even still be hidden today. There's certainly a huge God part about revealing the horrors of the crucifixion and revealing that we need it. And then our part, may we grasp, may we get the reality, may we understand the reason, may we get our arms all the way around this and lock our fingers and say, yes, this is something that I want and something that I need. I pray, Lord, for this for my brothers and sisters. Thanks for listening today.